Pacific, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you guys can see me. I went old school here a little bit tonight. I've got some people that are joining. You should be able to see Social Scobies joining. If you're new, type in the word new. Sonia just jumped in. We're gonna have right now so far I've got Casey Zeman on, and hey Sonia, if you're new, type in the word new. I'm actually in Florida. That's why you're seeing a little bit of jerry rig action going on here. Of course, I still have my so there's the YouTube Jedi. That's Casey right there. Hey Adar, you and Kayleen, Larry, Alex. Hey Alex, what's going on? I'm in Florida. Awesome, Kitty. New to you. Awesome. If you're new, go ahead and follow. We're going to get started here. I've got Casey on so far, and then I've also of course I've got my I've got my Olo clip, which is pretty cool. If you're joining us from on the Hangout from Wisconsin, hey, how you doing? Hello. Then you'll see that we've got a little bit of a more wider angle here that we're able to see tonight. We got 45 people in so far. We're going to get Brian Fonzo here from iSocialFans on here in a second. I'm really interested to hear what he has to say as well, because he's got some really cool updates about what happened with Applebee's and that whole promotion. But before we get Fonzo, I guess Brian said he's got some networking issues, which that happens almost every time. Thank God. Pretty soon we're not going to have to even do any of this. We're probably going to have split screen here pretty soon with Periscope. Now keep in mind, Casey, there he is. Look at Slick.
There's Brian right there.
What's up, guys?
What's up? So we got. So have you guys met, by the way?
Nope.
So Brian,
No,
Casey.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay, Brian, Casey, Brian.
Nice to meet you, Brian.
So Brian is. Are you in a car? Where are you, Brian?
I'm in a car now. I have network issues in my house, so I'm in my car.
See, that's a brilliant thing about this stuff. Live streaming can happen anywhere.
Love it. Love it. Hopefully you guys you guys getting pretty good audio there. We got 75 people on. Brian, why don't you introduce yourself first to the people both on the Hangout and also the people that are live here. Jump into the scope as well if you can, or actually, you're not able to because you're on your phone, aren't you?
Yeah, I am on my phone. I can't.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Darcy's on. Hey, handsome. Okay. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Brian Fanzo, better known as iSocialFans on Twitters. I'm a change evangelist, chief digital strategist at a company called Broadway Media Group, and I am an avid Periscoper, Meerkatter, been on since day one. I believe in the power of looking people in their digital eyeballs, and I love the platform. So I do some keynote speaking, some workshops, some training, a little bit of everything. I'm a tech guy to begin with, so I enjoy the technology as much as the social platform behind it.
Awesome. Great to have you. And Brian, you might want to either put your headphones in so that we can get the volume up a little bit. That'd be great. And then Casey, why don't you introduce yourself? Go ahead and Casey's coming to us from. He's a little bit out of his element as well tonight. We're all coming to you from different places. Brian's in his car. Casey's in a Starbucks.
Yeah. So I'm here at Starbucks. I was helping my brother move, so I'm in Chicago right now. My name is Casey Zeman. For those who don't know me, I'm the founder of Easy Webinar. It's a software that does both streaming and automated webinars. I loved live broadcasting and just broadcasting in general for some time. I'm the best-selling author of Build Your Audience with Live Video. I did a Creative Live all about it. It's just my jam. Absolutely. I'm definitely an evangelist. When I saw Periscope happen, I was like, I have to get on there. I have to use that as a marketing tool, and it's just been amazing to see how it's an awesome marketing tool for getting people into your webinars, into your free offers. It's just, it's doing exactly what I've always wanted live streaming to do, where it's so accessible. So I love it.
Yeah, and what an appropriate person to bring on, because actually Casey has been in the live streaming world before it was on your smartphone. I mean his product integrates with Google Hangouts, And so, it is a natural progression, and it's kind of fun, I'm sure, on your part to see the opportunity now that this is now in the hands of everybody and not just people that that are technically savvy. It's especially with split. I mean, how timely is this? That literally this week we're going to get split screen potentially on Periscope, where we don't have to do all this craziness anymore. The only thing is we're only going to have two people on a Periscope. The cool thing about this is, I could only have one of you guys in this interview. With this at least, we can have multiple people. So there still is a place for this kind of technology, I think. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, Brian, you want to take that first, or?
Yeah, no, I think for me, we can't forget the mobile aspect of what we're dealing with right now, right? There's still a need for the controlled atmosphere. There's also an element of capturing leads, there's so many things behind the scenes that we're still missing, where I think live streaming isn't new, and that's why I always caveat these tools by Meerkat and Periscope have brought us mobile live streaming, right? But I love and embrace the power of Hangouts. I believe in multiple people being able to collaborate together, kind of like what we're doing now. But I think the more collaboration mobile drives, the better it is for the desktop viewer. But I still think there's a need for both of these platforms.
Yeah, I agree. There's a need for both, especially in this situation right here. Go ahead, Casey. I know you wanted to add to that.
Well, I always kind of see it, like, I always think about what's the future going to bring, like the combination of potentially taking both of these type of products, and rolling them in together. Because we integrate EasyWebinar integrates with Google Hangouts, I started thinking, well, maybe we should figure out how we can integrate with Periscope or something like that. Where it's like, then it becomes where you can deliver, various things like buy now buttons or PDFs and things like that. Just somehow do that. I'm excited to see what Periscope is going to do. But you're right. I think mobile attention is that's what makes this, solely unique, because it's mobile live stream, which takes it to an incredible new level.
Yeah, it does, and we've got some really cool people in the chat. We've got Mark Shaw. Mark, you recognize this place? I interviewed you about a month and a half ago right here, and so what's really cool is you're right, guys. I mean, what a time. I mean, and these guys are, Casey is no slouch here. This guy has used. I don't want to ask you exactly. I don't want to put you on the spot and tell you exactly how many of your Easy Webinar software you've sold, but this guy's a thought leader. I mean, he knows this space, and that's what's so cool about bringing him into this scope. So keeping it more onto the topic of live streaming for brands and live streaming for business, guys. Brian, dude, you dropped the bomb this past week, bro, with Applebee's. So just give us a little insight.
No, yeah, I think storytelling isn't new to brands, right? Brands have wanted to embrace storytelling. Brands have wanted to connect with their audience. The problem is they've sucked at it from a big general aspect. They forgot that it's talking with, not talking at. And I think these apps kind of change that. They allow, the consumer and the customer today is more powerful than we have ever had before. And it's time to start listening. And it's time to start engaging with that customer. And that's what, I was able to work with Applebee's, Vincenzo Landino, myself, and Sonny Landerduzzi. And really what we were able to do is we were able to kind of work with a brand and an agency that embraced the power of, hey, let's just empower the people that are actually in our crap, and let's let them tell the story. And I think that's the game changer, is these brands have always wanted to storytell, always wanted to relate with their communities. Yeah, but it's time to step that game up. And I really think that's what we were able to do with Applebee's, and there's more brands going to be doing it. And hi, Miss Kathy. How are you, sweetheart?
Hey, Kathy,
hey,
what's going on?
Brian, what's up?
Kathy.
Hey, guys, sorry I was late. I'm in tropical. It can be a little iffy with the connection down here, so.
Hey, I'm up late too. I'm on the East Coast now, so I'm right here with you at 10:30. So I know I see you. So you got your you're looking good. You got your lipstick on. You got your game face on there, Kathy. So we're.
I got it perfect, right? I'm the only girl on this one, so it's like I look pretty.
I love it. I love it.
I love that we're all out of our element, but we're all still doing our thing. It's like awesome.
Yep.
Hey, Casey.
Hey, Kathy, how are you?
Good.
I want books. I really love them.
Yeah, what's really cool is that I think there's a sense of urgency for guys, or for people like us, guys and gals, that really see where this is going. I mean, 5 now, count them, 5. Is there more, Brian? I mean 5 new live streaming apps in the past 3 months, and just 3 in the past 2 weeks.
Yes, yeah, it's crazy, and I think part of it comes down to the aspect is the phones and our data plans are finally powerful enough to house this stuff. I mean, like, that's the thing that's been killing. Casey can tell you that from more stay. I mean, the reason that we needed a web camera, we needed a podcast microphone, we needed a Wi-Fi and a computer is because we needed all of that power. Now, the computer chip that was used to be in our computer that we only can rely on sitting in our smartphone, and it's taken that much. I mean, I'm an iPhone guy. I love Android as well. But I think we couldn't have gotten this far until the iPhone 6 existed, because it was a front camera that was powerful enough to say, this could actually broadcast video. Like, how crazy is that? I mean, the 5 and the 5S, we weren't there yet, and the data plans weren't there yet. I mean, the data plans still aren't there, to be honest. But part of that, I think that's why these apps are going to keep coming. Remember, Google was the 27th search engine. So
yes.
We don't remember who was the first and second search engine. We remember who was the 27th. So for me, these apps is about embracing their power, learn all of them. I mean, I've been on I've been on Higher Talk, I've been on Nomadcast. But for me, I love and Casey's been part of the community long before any of us were doing it from mobile, and it's all about connecting with your digital eyeballs, and I think that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I totally agree with Brian. Sorry, Casey, but
go for it.
I'm going to jump in, and something I've been telling folks on my scopes is that it seems like everyone wants a piece of the live streaming pie right now. It's like a new app coming up all the time. I mean, some are some are similar to Periscope and Meerkat, some are very different. I was talking about Witness, which is a live streaming app. It's completely different from all the other live streaming apps, and I think has an amazing opportunity for use in markets for where there is a dangerous situation. I just think it's really interesting to see how everyone, especially us early adopters, start using it, because I've started using my app. I've seen a lot of people start to follow me, everything, and I'm like, are they just jumping on it because they're interested, or are they jumping on it because they want to become the next star? So it'll be interesting to see the motivation of the people that are trying to, a lot of us in this are motivated to try these apps from a mastermind, from a standpoint for like advising our clients, but motivating other people in our community to jump into these new apps.
Yeah. There's. Go ahead, Casey.
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, it's there are going to be so many people we're going to find. I mean, you're going to have the next YouTube star, Periscope stars, and just comedians and various people that are already just popping out of the woodworks, that's the early adopters. Those I think this will do wonderfully for, but it's a question of this is just that closer connection to the bigger brands being able to get one-on-one with everyone. Like what Brian, what Applebee's did. I mean that's exactly what all of them should be doing. And it's so funny because I've seen digital marketing grow, and this stuff 5 years ago people would think we're absolutely crazy, you know what I mean? It's like, no, how could this be the way to connect, or no, that's not going to be happening. But it's amazing because now it's the traditional people are like, this is what I want, but how do I do it? So there's a huge advantage, a huge opportunity for people that know this stuff, and we are like 99, we're in the 1% that know about this. And so there's a big opportunity for people to help brands, businesses grow their businesses using applications like this. And so I'm very excited to see what, the digital marketing space how it will change and evolve with applications like this.
Yeah. So really quick. So do you mind, Brian, just talking about the numbers that was generated, or is that something you want to just keep? What do you think? Do you want to talk a little bit?
I mean, we were the big hashtag was the 3 Comma Club. So we a little plug there from we generated 1 billion impressions on that hashtag across all social media with live streaming included. And to me, what the biggest play was people were engaged with the hashtag because the community was one of them. Kathy was actually one of the restaurants there, and for me the power was it was cool that they asked Vincenzo and myself and Sonny, but the coolest part was they knew that we were supposed to ask people that were really going to go to the restaurant and really, let's go sit there and give us the real life impressions. And that's never been able to done before. If you wanted to do that before, it was setting up a web camera on a laptop. You got to take that to a restaurant. That doesn't exist. I mean, this is a game changer, because I said, Kathy, we were like, Kathy, here's a gift card. Here's your phone. Go sit there. Tell us what it's like. Involve your people. And it's mobile. That is the true power of mobile. And, Applebee's, they're pushing the boundary. They've been engaging on social media. They're unique. I believe that not everybody understands it that well. But to me, this was the first sign that this isn't just for you don't have to be a social company. You don't have to be a social media product. You don't even have to be a technology company. You have to be a company that wants to empower your community, and it's a game changer. And 1 billion impressions on Taste the Change hashtag. I say take that to anybody who doesn't believe live streaming is a game changer.
Bank.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's like...
Wow.
Amen. Preach it, Brian. Preach it.
For sure. Preach it.
Dude, I mean, seriously, if you're not like retweeting this, like sending this out to everybody that you know, like this right here, this information is crazy. I mean, that's amazing stuff. I mean, so Courtney is, huge. I mean, I hope you guys are paying attention to this. I don't know of any, and we've been in digital marketing for a while, Casey. You and I have both been in this space. Those are crazy numbers. That's like Super Bowl type numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, you have to think of it like these businesses, these big corporations that, they have to start looking at this and saying, we need to get flexible. We need to connect one-on-one with people. Let's start implementing these things. But, if you look at it even from the opportunity for an author, expert thought leader, coach, consultant, anybody who just has a small business, it's so empowering for everyone. I did a launch, in February on with Easy Webinar actually, and nothing replaced live streaming. Like, I did a 5-hour Q&A on the last day of our launch, and it was like $165,000 was made and generated just from Q&A, where you're back and forth talking to people, and it's when you have that experience, nothing takes the place of that. I've tried to do launching where it's been videos, and that compared to live stream it's a huge gap. And so to be able to do this and do Q&As and give content value, and then answer questions and engage one-on-one so readily and easily. I'm floored by it. This is why I love Periscope. Because people can do it 3 times a day, drive people into their communities, a Facebook community, a webinar. That's how I've been doing it, sending them to a webinar as well, streaming webinar.
So wait. Yeah. So this is the webinar guy right here. Okay, so this is interesting. So we got digital, guys here, and Casey and myself, and then two social media more or less people with Kathy and with Brian. And did you hear what he just said? So he basically said that the digital marketing space is very much paying attention to social media and live streaming now. I know for a fact that I've got guys that I haven't talked to in the digital marketing space for years that are coming out of the woodwork going, dude, what's going on? What are you doing? I want to know. Teach me. They don't know what to make of this. Now, is it similar, Casey, to are you saying that you think? What do you think? Do you think that live streaming is going to take place of what are you thinking? About with that?
What's super interesting about this is that the way you engage on a webinar is very similar to how you engage on a Periscope. It's say hello to your guests, build the buzz up, and then give them insights into what you're going to talk about. Create this expectation and anticipation, and active asking questions. So it really does translate over. But there's some differences that you have. Obviously the hearts, that's a little different. So you can kind of parts and talking to your folks, but the content and value that you find that to be given on a webinar is the same thing on a Periscope. It's just the beauty of it is that it's so bite-sized and wonderful that you do 2 little things and provide it, and boom, that's one scope down. Where a webinar is usually like a good hour long. You could do hour-long periscopes, clearly, but what I love is that the brilliance of being able to like, bam, do a little periscope, bam, do a little periscope. It's like, and it's just a super engaged, fast-paced thing. So it's a little different, but because it's like you giving daily something that's just awesome and staying ultra connected. It's this ultra connected thing. It's
an impromptu webinar. It's an impromptu webinar. It
reminds me of Vine. If you guys know Viners, so they do Vines, they're always thinking of what's my next Vine going to be? What's my next Vine going to be? Well, I think Periscopers are definitely thinking, what's my next Periscope going to be? What's my next scope going to be, right? So you're always looking for opportunities to say, oh, you know what? I could do a Periscope about this, Yep. So.
Well, I think it comes down to also, just like social selling, the concept of social selling, you never made the sale on social media publicly. You wanted to build a relationship, you wanted to bridge, you want to provide value, and then you wanted to get them where you want to close. And I think a webinar link to what Periscope is very similar to that. I want to build the engagement. I want to provide value. I want to establish myself as a trusted leader. That when I tell you jump on this webinar so that I can provide you actionable data and hopefully close you at the end of the webinar, that's a game changer. And before we were doing that in a very, I would say, not a very static way of, hey, come to this very dynamic webinar. Now it's like, hey, I'm dynamic, I'm passionate. Listen to me on Periscope once a day, and then whenever I need you to come close and when I want to provide ultimate value, come to this webinar. So people that are close-sided, in my opinion, they're always looking for something like this to replace something. Yeah. Let's talk about it. How can it amplify what you do really freaking well? I don't need it to replace Snapchat and YouTube. I need it to bridge and amplify what I already do great. And that's the people that are doing great job on live streaming. The people that think of it the other way are very closed-minded in the whole scheme of things, in my opinion.
So if I'm a business, bottom line, okay, guys, and this is for all of you, what's the best way for me to profit from live stream right now? Which platforms? How do I determine what platform? How do I determine what the best way is for me to go about going about this and really getting my message out there and using and leveraging these platforms if I'm let's say maybe a small to medium sized business, just a small to medium sized business. What do you guys think?
Well, if you guys don't mind, I'll speak on it. But everybody feel free to jump in. I do feel that you pick one avenue, you pick one thing, and like Periscope, and every single day you do a Periscope, and the intention is to throw in obviously like call to actions after you create the value, get people on that list, right? And then eventually either launch a product to them, or sell coaching or consulting. Really that's what it is. I think it's a question of looking at how you can build your community. You could say list, but let's just say community, because it's like, that's really ultimately what it is. So getting subscribers on Periscope is one way, and then obviously getting them to your email list. I think that having a clear, concise call to action at the end, that you're kind of putting a button on, is a smart way to do it. And I was kind of doing this in my head, like reverse engineering a launch, where let's say you could get 20 leads a day, on Periscope, right? And you want to do a launch where you might make $100,000. So if you do, let's say, 20 or 30 leads a day, in like 3 or 4 months, you could probably have a list of like 3,500 or something like that. And if you sell a program for $1,500, but you do maybe 3 payments of $500, you could get like 73 people in, and you get to make $100,000. So it's like I was just so I was kind of looking at like, let me reverse engineer a launch, but using something like this wonderful live stream mechanism to get more people into my community, and then obviously sell on a webinar or sell during a launch plan. And even during a launch, that's when you do webinars all the time. You do those webinars. You now have them on a list. Now you can sell to them. So
who's done this really, really well. And I want to hear. Oh, Kathy just dropped off. Bummer. Oh my gosh. Okay, so who's done this really well is Kim Garst. Kim Garst has done this phenomenally. She's started her own teaching coaching platform, and she just gets on and she just talks about it. And it's so different from the strategic, very systematic way that Kathy's back. this very systematic way that you go about and sell on webinars. Does that make sense? And with Periscope and live streaming, it's much different. I mean, it's like it's got to be just incorporated in what you're saying. You talk about what you know, and then you just say, oh yeah, you know what? You mentioned it again. And if you want to just jump over to Periscope, Ryan, you can get my links and you can get my lead magnet. And that's it's just part of the conversation. It's just like rolled into it, you know. And that it's just be a part of the conversation, you know. And it's a natural way that I've seen Kim do this, and she's really good at doing it, and she's really doing well from it. So, what do you guys think? What do you think, Brian and Kathy?
Go ahead, Kathy.
Well, I think that one of the things that's important. I think, especially I'm on what value are you bringing to your community? You know, if there's 100 people doing coaching, why should they come to you? So what is that added value that you bring to them? Or, you know, in my case, PR, like what is the expertise I bring to the table? So that's one of the things I try to always kind of talk about on my scopes. If I'm talking about PR, is bring that back to to keep it top of mind. And like, this is why you should listen to me when it comes to PR. So, you know, I think that's one of the important things when you're selling your services or yourself on Periscope and you're building that relationship with the community, is remind them every so often why you are the person that they want to hire. So,
you know, and for me, it's part. You know, it comes down to I'm from the school of Gary Vaynerchuk. You know, jab, 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 right hook. This isn't freaking brain science. I mean, let's break it down. I mean, I want to buy from somebody that provides me value I can trust. And the future of business, without question, is community. And if you can build a community, I don't care if it's an email list, if it's a loyal community that looks at you as a trusted advisor, it doesn't matter what you're selling. The reason Kim Garst is badass on here is I bought Kim Garst's product on Facebook. I bought her product before because, you know what? She guarantees value, she provides value, and delivers every time. And it's very easy to look at Kim Garst and go, wow, she does this very easily. She has a call to action, she drives value, she gives away value. But here's the thing. Remember this. If nobody will ever say you're providing too much help or you're providing too much value, you're helping me too much. And I think that's something you have to remember. And if you provide value and you help, your call to action ends up being people are begging for you. If you watch Kim Garcia,
they want it.
They go, what's that email address? What's Periscope Ryan's address? What can you spell Ryan? Is it Ryan with a? You know, people want it because you're providing value. It's jab, 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 and oftentimes the right hook is as easy as answering their question for what they want to buy. The problem is it takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of. I mean, this is my line. I've been using this for a while now. But if you suck offline, you suck online. And if your product sucks, you're gonna be scared of this platform because you have no value to add. And that's why some of these brands are hating on it. Some of these brands can't see any adoption because honestly, what they have to add at the end of the day isn't very valuable. And that sounds very harsh. How I look at it from a standpoint of ultimate value.
Yeah, no, I think if you have value, you're doing a disservice by not giving them that additional level of where they can learn more. And here's the thing, it's like, this is the way that you're creating the largest relationship. Like, they want to come into your community. And I've never, you know, this is how you build that strong relationship. This is the best way to do it. I've seen video, it works, but this you can't. The very fact that you can say hello to people, that you get your people that always come to your scopes. I mean, and those people are your fans. I mean, it is fan based. I mean, it really is. And if you get, you know, it's that 1,000 fan rule. If you get 1,000 fans, you can, you know, they'll buy anything from you, right? Well, and it's because you've given value, and they personally love who you are as well, because you're not just sharing, you know, about, you know, the value, but you're also sharing your life story, and that really resonates with a lot of people, and it's always good. It kind of polarizes people. Either they love you or hate you, and that's fine. You know, that's what you want, right?
Exactly. And I was distraught the first time I had somebody like unfollow me. I was like, wait, and then I'm like, okay, you know, I got used to it really quick. But what's I'm like, okay, another one gone. But what, you know, what's interesting is that, you know, even just with the Periscope Ryan thing with me, just giving the links, what's happened is, you know, I've got over the past 5 weeks, you guys have heard this many times, like 600 people have opted in and to get the links. And what's really cool is that now, I've got this system that I've created, like a 25-point system for when you're going to do these things. I don't know if it's going to be relevant anymore because, with the split screen, but I was talking to people, on Periscope, and I'm like, well, I've got this 25-point system. Does anybody think it's valuable? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, how much should I charge for it? They're like, yeah, like $19, something like that. And I'm like, okay. So, I mean, it's like, like, they're like, hey, you deserve to get paid for it, and I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right, I do, because I worked my ass off, like, putting those 25 points together, and I sat here at night, to an hour preparing for this thing, to get ready for this, and setting up, my whole entire living room is now discombobulated because I've got my furniture everywhere, and so, I mean, that's the life of somebody that's trying to expand the boundaries. I've got my Olo clip on my you'd love it. Hey Brian, you'd love it. I got my Olo clip on my laptop here. I don't think, have you done that? You got to try that, by the way.
I haven't done that. I am rocking my Olo clip right now, though. So
nice.
Yeah, on the laptop's impressive. See, I have mine. So whoa.
Yeah.
Way too close. So yeah, we can go. Yeah, I don't need to show nose hair. Therefore, the Olo clip works well.
Oh man.
Well, I want to ask you this since everyone's in here, because and I can quote you guys. I'm working on an article for a big publication on how is Periscope the perfect platform for influencer marketing. So I want to hear y'all's thoughts since I have all these amazing folks in here.
Influencer marketing. Go for it, guys.
So I'll jump on it. So I think it's the future of influencer marketing. I don't know if it's the perfect one, because here's the deal. I think influencer marketing always started at the wrong spot. I think influencer marketing started with the influencer and worked down. I think the future of influencer marketing is starting at the community and working up and saying, who is the community listening to? And the people that the community are listening to are people that are active, engaged, and provide value. And guess what? Those are people that are great on platforms like this. So I think the future of influencer marketing is going to be driven by people that can embrace the power of new technology, look people in the eyeballs, and build a trusted, authentic relationship. The problem is, if you're still building influencer marketing top down and saying Beyonce is going to influence somebody to drink a Pepsi, Beyonce doesn't need to get on Periscope. But I can tell you what, Beyonce isn't going to influence someone to buy the Pepsi Clear 2.0 that we're going to have come out, right? It's someone that says, hey, I drink Monster Energy drink every single day. This is a new energy drink. I think you guys should try it. My community would jump on that because I'm a trusted resource that I drink Monster every day. And I think the future of these tools are a trusted resource of the community is going to embrace this. So I guess, Kathy, I saw your email, so I was going to get your email back. But this is even better. We're doing it on Periscope. How cool is that?
Just do it live.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion is I think it's the future of influencer marketing for those that believe influence starts with the community.
Yeah, and I think that what's interesting is that, if you think about an author, and how the traditional sense of media, how the author, they go through a publisher, and then they would sell, and they would never know who their community was, yet and still they're an influencer, but they have no idea who their people are. So if you don't know who your people are, how can you really be an influencer, that is really connected and engaged,
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, who's the guy that does a lot of Facebook stuff? Tyrese Gibson, is that him?
Yeah.
He's he's doing
he does a lot of Facebook stuff.
And he's talking right to his community. He's not doing a sponsored ad. He's doing it real, and that's what it's about. I mean, that is, as Brian just said, it's all about community. So I have to agree with Brian on that. I think this realm is the future of influencer marketing, because it's not going to be, because it's now it's like I'm gonna talk directly to you, one-on-one, and that's where it's going.
Well, I'll add to that. I mean, I'll just use myself as an example, because I can only speak from personal experience myself. And here's the bottom line: like I have not been one of those out there digital marketers that has that I don't have my own course, I don't have my own following. A lot of guys like you, Casey, you've got a huge following, like David Sprague, Joe Troyer, obviously Ryan Dice. I mean, I could go on, Frank Kern, these guys. they've had the tools, they've had the technology, they've got the behind. You guys, I haven't had that. This levels the playing field for the people that have been sitting behind the lines for a little while. Because what I do is turn my stinking phone on and I click on broadcast. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's nobody better to tell your story. There's nobody better to provide your value, and ultimately, you're your best salesperson, you're your best marketer, you're your best PR person. And this tool allows you to do it. And the scary part is, it also will expose what you suck at. I mean, and if you're not willing to embrace that, I mean, it's scary. I mean, it's funny. Yeah. Someone texted me earlier today and said, "Brian, do you realize that you said the words 'I don't know' 13 times on a Periscope?" And I said, "Wow, I'm impressed that you were paying attention." I was like, "Wow," but I was like, "But I preach that I don't know everything. Therefore, if I said it 13 times, apparently I'm standing up with what I believe in." And I think if you're not willing to say that, if you're not willing to say I don't know, or you're not willing to say I'm going to get back to you, or let me find out the best answer, this can be really detrimental because you spew some crap that is fake or not authentic, or it's the same line. Oh, it's easy. You're exposed so fast.
So fast.
It's scary. But I love that because you know what? I'm tired of the days of someone jumping on a platform or a medium or even digital marketing, and because they said it the loudest, it's the truth. Now it's what the truth matters because we're able to prove it, and we're able to, like, people put something out there, you're gonna get it pushed back, so you might as well start, being yourself. And Periscope Ryan, it's funny, I talked about you on stage in San Diego, right? I called you out because to me, you provided value, you stood out from the crowd, and you were someone I was looking forward to providing value, and it's very easy for you to do that, and I think people that aren't understanding that are going to miss this curve, and I think there's some of us that are, and I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for the future of marketing because the people that are real and can provide value are going to stand out from the crowd and not be stuck behind the lines.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that, and that was really cool. I mean, that was amazing, and I just, I can see that. I can see where this is going, and we're just in the beginning. I can't wait until we all, meet up in New York, and then in San Francisco for the Periscope Summit. And it's just, I mean, with all the new tools that are coming out, with the Olaclip Studio that's going to come out. I mean, this is gonna, it's becoming more mainstream every single day, and it's guys like us that are gonna, build the community, that are going to teach people, guys and gals. Well, I use the word guys, loosely. I mean,
It's okay.
So it's really fun. I mean, I've always been, like it's just natural. Like I'm the gadget guy, and my now ex-wife was always asking me, what the heck? What are you doing?
My current wife asked me the same thing, so I'm with you.
Yeah. My wife asked me the same thing, right?
So anyway,
but until she demands something, that's when you have to. Okay, I might have to taper back this, right? I have to calm it down on the tech.
Right. So
I had my father-in-law interrogate me. It wasn't my head. It was my father-in-law. I was like, "What is it that you do?"
Oh my God, that's so my family too.
That's it, that's what makes it fun. That's why we're we're learning this. We're pushing the boundaries. It's fun. And and what have you guys seen? What kind of questions have you seen? I want to make sure that we're also using the leveraging what we've got here in terms of Periscope and the questions. I've seen a couple come through. Anyone that you guys have seen that's jumped out at you that's come through the comments? I know that somebody did ask a question about how to engage people, and bring people in from their Instagram account, and this is a good question for you social media guys, like, how can you bring somebody from your other social media into this platform? Yeah, and I know, Brian, you've done a good job of that. Maybe you can answer that for businesses and brands.
So here's the deal. Just because there's not a scheduling option does not give you an excuse not to schedule and schedule your broadcasts. And what I mean by that is, even if it's real time, create a graphic, create a template that has that you post it on Instagram, you post it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Google+, Tumblr, everywhere. I don't care where you post it. And literally say, hey, I'm going live today at 3. Consistency still is important, and just because it's real time does not give you the excuse to have no strategy. And I mean, I believe the power of this tool is in bridging your existing community. You don't have to do anything more than bridge your community. So if you want to say, hey, I have 1 million followers on YouTube. Well, why don't you create a video talking about your Periscope experience and then let them know every Monday between 4 and 6 p.m. I go live. Make sure you go on here, turn on your notifications. Now we can even tell people, turn on your notifications and mute everybody else, which is even cooler. But I think the element of just because there isn't a schedule feature in here does not give you the to believe you can't schedule content. I schedule content every single week in Google Hangouts, and I post it on Facebook and on Twitter, and none of that is built in there for me. I create a graphic on Canva. It takes me 8 minutes because I time myself. 8 minutes. I create a graphic, I post it out there, and then I bridge my – that's what it's all about. The reason I have 1,000 followers on Periscope has very little to do with what I do on Periscope as far as advertising myself. And the other thing is, don't forget to tell people to share to Twitter. And I said this the other day, and because you say share with all your followers, and guess what? All those people are already on Periscope. Let's share with our Twitter followers, and let's build our audience. Let's get new Periscope users, new people to download the app, because people are going to download this app for 2 reasons. FOMO, because they're fear of missing out of a brand new technology, or because some kind of content and value is being provided they can't consume somewhere else. So tell your followers, share this on Twitter. I mean, it's amazing to me that we're not using that piece, because those Twitter audiences might not even know that Periscope exists because of the title or because you shared it. All of a sudden they're going to download the app or go to the website, and that to me is the game changer when it comes to using this tool.
So wait, let me just recap. That's a mind bomb right there. So basically what you did is you just created a Canva image and you posted that to all your social media, because and by the way, images get, like, I don't know if you saw the recent one from Saba that she did about the new live streaming technology. It's got like 15, 20 retweets. I saw you retweeted it, Brian. And then and I'm still learning Twitter, so you got to show me how to tag people on Twitter. Can you take me by the hand, Kathy or Brian, and just show me how I can?
We can show you.
All right.
It's easiest to do on your phone, but we'll show you.
Okay, so basically you just put a comment in there and you just add a bunch of people in the next comment after you tweet, right?
Well, you have to post a picture, and then it says who's in the picture, and then you can post up to 10 people. You can tag up to 10 people in each picture.
Okay. So anyway, wow. I didn't know that. So Kathy, we got a little homework.
Likewise.
Or Brian. So
I got a chair that teaches it all. It says storytelling beyond 140 characters. And it's all about embeds and everything you can do beyond 140 characters to provide value.
Okay.
Nice.
So really cool. So guys, you can use Canva and you can create an image, and then basically you're bridging your whole community by saying, hey, follow me on Periscope at RyanSteinolfson. Right there, you put that on Instagram, you put that on Twitter, you put that as your thumbnail for your YouTube videos.
I mean, because how else are they gonna unless you tell them?
Yep.
That's that simple.
Yep.
And it's so easy. It's so easy.
Funny, like I've got a Sunday night news show that I do on Periscope called Scope News, and it's interesting because more and more people are coming to my show, and they know when to expect it. They know it's Sunday nights at 9:45, and I interview someone at 10. And it's interesting. Like I usually go to Canva, do my little thing, and I post it out. And then I've gotten people come in from Twitter who had no idea, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, live streaming in politics? What? Periscope and politics?" We had a talk. My show yesterday was on how live streaming is going to affect fashion, brands, and retail, like brick and mortar, digital, and all that stuff. And it was interesting to get folks in there that was like, "My first time. This is really interesting." And but it definitely agree with Brian on the sharing on Twitter. Like we don't do that enough. And Mark Shaw and I were talking about this, and that's in my entrepreneur article. That really the integration with Twitter is the jackpot. If you can share through Twitter, and let's say someone retweets you, and you get a huge amount of people into your scope watching, that's jackpot.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to do that. So that's a really good actionable item right there for you guys. Is definitely use Canva. It's 8 minutes. It's very, very easy. Get people to come over from your existing platforms. I mean, and you did that phenomenally, Brian. I have to say. And what's really cool is you did that from Meerkat. I noticed because you had a big Meerkat following, and it was like boom. I was like, who is this guy that's got like 5,000 followers in like 2 days, man? It's like, what the heck, Everybody's talking about this guy Fonzo, and then all of a sudden I was like, it was just boom, how'd you convert that?
Well, for me, it's part about if you grow a community that you provide value to, they're going to go everywhere you go.
Yeah.
But if you're only providing value, that's why I struggle with some people that get on a platform and they only talk about the platform itself. Like, they need to talk about the bigger picture, the storytelling, the brand engagement. Because here's the thing. Technology will change. Storytelling is still the game. I mean, we are all about engaging, building communities, and storytelling. So for me, it's like, hey, my audience is going to jump where I'm going to provide value. And that sounds very arrogant, but there's an element there where I've built that relationship. 3 years of building a strong relationship with people that I'm like, hey, if I'm on Periscope, I mean, it's funny. I jumped on with my eye, right? And all of a sudden on my eye, I was
Boom.
laughing. I'm like, people are like, I'm only getting on here because I had 100 followers the first day on my eye. It was like, well, what's going on there? And it's the same with Snapchat. If I consistently provide value, I worry less about having 100,000 followers and more about who is following. Because I think that's something we forget about. It matters about who, not just the number of followers, and that's the key.
Well, it's who and the engagement, because I've seen a lot of people that have thousands of followers, like a lot, and there's not a lot of people that show up, for the scopes, and so I agree. Yeah, go ahead.
Like they don't tap into their story. They also don't tap into why someone should be following them. So they're not getting that pinpointed audience that's going to follow them. It's because they're not clearly saying this is who should be coming to enjoy my content, like, because they're not really diving into their story enough, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Who's watching? I feel blessed, man, because I get guys like Brian dropping in, I get Casey dropping in. Like today I had Alex, I had Kim Garst. I mean, dude, I just it's just cool, and it's really neat to be a part of this with you guys, and it's really good to know that I don't have to go and really follow all those bright shiny little new live stream apps right now. I can stay focused on Periscope and just keep really or I can pull a Fonzo and have go double fisted with Meerkat and Periscope with two different phones at the same time. I don't know, which I still might do. I mean, I got like I don't know. They got to come out with some sort of what do you think's what's gonna happen with that, Brian? You think they're gonna come out with some tool that's gonna allow you to be streaming from 5 different
I don't know. I think the competition is good. I mean, let's put it in perspective. I have 21,000 followers on Meerkat. I have 6,000 on Periscope.
Whoa.
So for me, I was on Meerkat since day 3. I was at South by Southwest. I built a huge audience on Meerkat. But ultimately, I don't care about which one my audience is engaging on, as long as they are engaging, period. And so for me, that's where I look at the value. I believe that Meerkat is going to make Periscope better. I believe Periscope is making Meerkat better.
Yep.
So even all of these live stream objects, webinars, you could say that across the board. The webinar game for the longest time was the most stagnant, boring, non-innovative space. And then all of a sudden people started pushing the boundaries and saying that they're not okay with this. And Google Hangouts were integrating things like, we could click 3 buttons, schedule something. I've done a scheduled Google Hangout for 2.5 years, and that wasn't possible back then when I started. I think, to me, it's about collaborating, and I said this on my scope this morning, we are greater than me, and it's all about how we together can make a difference, and it's about sharing expertise, collaborating, and I think that's what the future of all these technologies come together as.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually I was consulting with a brand today. A smaller brand. They're trying to build their community, their tribe, their whatever their followers, whatever you want to call them, their list, whatever. Bottom line is that they've been dabbling in podcasts, they've been dabbling in this, that, and the other, and they're trying to create content. They've got a lot of Instagram stuff going on. I was like, look, you guys just live streaming is you have a TV in your pocket. You can tell your story the way you want it to be told, and you can do things like bring people into the live streams. And with the GoPro thing, it's going to be it's just going to be amazing. But so there are certain live stream technologies that I think are better for certain for certain companies. Like I would say Meerkat, for example, was a better selection for them because right now you can embed the Meerkat, stream right into your WordPress blog, right? And then you can also, and I haven't really used Meerkat a lot. That's unbelievable. You have 21,000 followers. I didn't know that, Brian. I mean, and I think, and that's the other thing. I think that there is a critical mass at that 3-month or the 4-month mark. Did you notice that you start getting, it starts becoming like a snowball?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. I thought so.
And part of it comes down to, when people are share. The reason I love Periscope for the ability to share with your followers, right? Because that is the ultimate megaphone that says, it's just like a favorite and a retweet, right? The favorite used to say, hey, yes, I favored your content, it's a fist bump. A retweet says, I want all of my followers to know about this. I think a sharing with your followers says, I want all of my followers to know about it, and you guys should not miss out. Come consume this content now. And ultimately, when I first got on Periscope, there wasn't a ton of people that were willing to do that. I think it got out of hand a little bit.
It did.
And I think the mute button that came out today was going to be amazing. Because you know what? I'm probably going to follow more people now because I know that I have the ability to mute them if they start to undervalue what my news feed is, what my notifications are.
Yes.
And I think we're so early in the game. I don't care how many followers someone has. I got on Colleen's, I think it's Colleen L. She was doing a broadcast earlier tonight. She had 13 people watching that broadcast. She dropped more knowledge on the new update for Periscope than anyone else's I've heard all day today. And I've listened to people that have 100,000 followers, and she has, a couple hundred followers. And so I jumped on and shared her broadcast, and that to me was like, hey, all my followers come in. This person's providing value, so I think that's the future of a lot of this technology. How can we bridge this gap?
Colleen's on here. She goes, hey, that's me.
Yeah, that's Colleen right there. Hey, Colleen, she rocked today. You guys should follow Colleen. I think she provides ultimate value. That's what it's all about. I don't care how many followers someone has on Twitter or what book they wrote. If you provide value on a live streaming app, I think that's where we together as a community have to help share the great people that are doing great things.
Yeah. And I think also a lot of these people get nervous about doing a Periscope because they think they can't get that big community, and so they get stressed out about it. So why would I drop this value? But it's like, don't worry, people are watching. The more value you give, the better. And that mute button certainly will do the trick. I mean, it will be like that will it will definitely peak the cream will rise to the top at that point, so it's like always provide that good quality value. So don't be frustrated if you have only 10 people come to your Periscopes. It's eventually going to increase. The more people following you and loving your content, it's just going to snowball from there.
It will, and I think it just, if you can just get to that 2 to 3 month point, I've noticed that it does definitely start to snowball as Brian said. That's exactly what Colleen was saying tonight. She said, and I think what's really cool. Okay, thanks, Alex. Great to have you on. What's really cool is that yeah. I mean, I actually had a bunch of people that I followed in the beginning. I mean, I was like, following everybody. I had like 2,000 people. Then I pared it back. I've only got 91 followers. Now I'm gonna, like you said, I'm gonna follow a bunch of people because I wanted to truly use I wanted to use the notifications. I wanted to get notified when any one of those 91 people were on, and I had to pare it back so that it wasn't just like taking over my whole day, And so it forced me to really pay attention to, okay, who's bringing the most value, who's creating content on a very regular basis, daily, that's giving value, and those are the people that I'm watching, and those are the people. It's nice because it's helped me really build my community because I get on those scopes. When somebody's scoping out of those 91 people or 92 now, I'm watching. I'm watching that stuff. So anyway, I think that we've been on. What's the big question? Okay, I will pay to play on Periscope if they monetize this platform. Yeah, there will be some of the pay to play. Are you seeing any of that, Brian, with brands where they're starting to? I mean, they're pay individual, sponsored scopes. I mean, where do you think that's going?
I think all of it's about connecting with your value. I think Periscope's play should be I want to pay more money to get a download of all the people that watch my scope. I want to pay more money to get true data from everything that's going on the backside. I'm waiting for that as a user, as a brand, as a marketer. Yeah. I think the sponsored content, Snapchat's doing it right now. If you're not watching I get on Snapchat to watch sponsored content. Like, you heard that correctly. I like to watch sponsored content, and I think that's the game changer. I think brands that could, I would love a lower third or a ticker on my Periscope that says, hey, I can put a call to action for Monster energy drinks. And because I drink that every time, people know that if you want to drink this and get a discount on Monster energy drinks or Olo Clip. Ryan and I have been using Olo Clip from day one. Let's put that on there. I think, but here's the thing. Monetization does not always mean you have to sell something with money. If you build a relationship or provide value or all of a sudden become a trusted resource, that's monetization. Somebody looks at monetization as something you have to pay with dollars. I'm paying with your time and the data. Don't forget that.
Hey, great point. What would you want in terms of data? What do you think brands want in terms of data, or small businesses would want in terms of data from the scopes? Periscope has not really done a good job of really giving good data. What do you think? I would want what I want on my YouTube videos. I want my YouTube insights for Periscope. You know what I'm saying? Like, when do I get the most hearts? When do I?
That's it. Yeah. You want to know when you get the most heart. When do people love when you're the most engaged during a Periscope? Having all that net data, but not only that on one Periscope, but aggregated over all of your Periscopes. It's the more you have that, the more you're going to know when you should be doing your Periscopes, what type of content, and it helps you to be a better content creator, right? Like, that data would help you to serve your audience better, ultimately.
Yes, no doubt. And and some people have said, oh, by the way, go retweet this. Definitely retweet this and favorite this to get this out there. The recording of this on Twitter, just like Brian had suggested to do earlier. I really am excited about what we did here tonight. I think we covered a lot. I want to make sure that who is resharing, not just retweeting. Okay, definitely reshare, retweet this. Favorite it. I think this was I don't ask a lot of times for people to do that. This was a great communication that happened between all of us here in collaboration. Very cutting edge. Talked about a lot of different topics that have to do with brands and businesses and their leveraging of live streaming. Kathy, I think Brian had some connection issue. He just he dropped off there, but I wanted to say that Casey, this was awesome. Thank you guys for watching on the stream here, and you're teaching the world how America capitalizes on any free platform. Okay, yeah, okay. Look, the capitalizing on this stuff. Look, this is what makes I love capitalism. There's nothing wrong with capitalism. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it as long as it's done in the right way. And so, I'm not going to apologize for that in any way, shape, or form, brother. Because this is America. It's the best country, that I know of. So anyway,
you got to look at it like this. As someone who's creating content and providing a certain amount of value, you have to be in your best place in life, financially. You have to, everything has to connect. And if you're suffering with that, your Periscopes, the content you create is going to suffer. So in order to do that, you have to first take care of yourself. And, that's what it's all about. I think what it's doing is it's creating more entrepreneurs. It's creating more, people
creating jobs.
Finding their own expertise. Being experts and actually providing that information and content, and monetizing their expertise. Yeah. So it's not so monetizing Periscope; it's monetizing their expertise. But this is the avenue to monetize your expertise.
Yeah.
Just like so many others, this one is an easier. It's just one of those. It's another direction, another thing that you can take that gets you closer to that community. And that's what live stream is all about. It gets you close to that community, creating that respect and value, and providing trust, and then obviously monetizing the expertise that you're giving because people find it utterly valuable.
Yeah. There's more jobs. There's more jobs that are created as a result of this, and that's what ultimately people. What's really exciting about this for me, Casey, is that people like myself are finally have the opportunity to have a voice and finally have the opportunity to be able to have a platform that is easy to use, where you can get your message out there to the masses, okay? And thank you. I didn't, more innovation, exactly, that's what this is. It's collaboration. It's getting together with like-minded people to collaborate to make this platform better for progress, because ultimately, things are going to get, this is going to get easier, it's going to get better. I mean, look at what's happened even in the past 5 years in terms of, where we've come from. I mean, it's just like light years. So, look at Oloca building out more brand awareness and helps employ more people. Exactly. They're going to crush it, guys. I mean, Oloclip is going to absolutely, so anyway, I really appreciate you guys, getting on here tonight. If there's any other, if there's anything else that you can do, what I would say. Oh, and by the way, if you want any of these things that I talked about tonight, you can go to Periscope Ryan. So that's my free offer. I'm just trying to model what I want you guys to do. Basically, Periscope Ryan. Yeah, this is all saved for 24 hours. I want to model good behavior on YouTube. All my scopes are broadcasted directly to YouTube, or they're posted directly to YouTube with the hearts, with the comments. And I'm also using Catch.me. I've interviewed the Catch.me guy just like I did here. And if you want to be able to do this kind of interviewing, then you can get some of these tools, the microphone, the Rode lavalier mic, which is what I'm using right now, which is awesome. You can get all the links by going to periscoperyan.com. Again, that's periscoperyan.com. I like this setup too, and it's going to get better. Look, they're going to have split screen pretty soon. I still like this for getting multiple people on. We couldn't have this brainstorming session if we didn't have this kind of setup. And I'm going to actually have a 25-point checklist because this takes a little time. I mean, this is, this is not my first rodeo. I mean, I've been doing, and this guy, I'm preaching to the choir here. You got the hangout expert.
It's really cool what I'm seeing from my side, because I see where the actual phone is. I see the lighting that you set up. It's perfect. And this is not.
Don't tell anybody.
I won't tell anybody. I'm in the chat. Maybe I should tell. Let's say, listen, this is easy. No, it looks really great. And this is the thing is you can have this type of studio for under $100. You know what I mean? It's just, maybe it's a little more than that, but it's literally the influencer of someone who's providing extreme value, an expert touch, one-on-one communication to your audience with. And it doesn't have to cost a lot at all. Where it used to cost so much, to have a studio in your office. I know guys that built $1 million studios, and then things like this came around where we're connecting with our audience on a faster way than ever, easier, faster way than they ever did. And now they're like, oh well, now what do I do with this $1 million equipment? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Seriously, you got $200 in the scope stack at the most. If you want this setup where you actually have two mics, you've got a splitter, the Rode SC6 splitter, which I'm going to be interviewing the Rode people here pretty soon. And basically you just, I've got, sorry about that. That must have been loud for you guys. I've got a Rode mic here to my laptop. So it's like I'm miking up Casey and Brian and everybody on the, from the laptop. And then I've got one on myself. So, and then I also have, I've got the splitter that's connected right, that where both of the cords are going right into it. I've got my my Oloclip right at the top of my phone here, so that I can capture more viewable area. This is powerful. I mean, this is it. I mean, I've got my light, my lighting behind me here. So, and that's a $50 light on Amazon. All the links are at Periscope Ryan. If you want any of this stuff, and yeah. I mean, you guys can call me, a salesman. You can call me whatever you want. I mean, bottom line is I spent 5 years learning these gadgets, and I spent thousands and thousands of dollars. So, I'm just helping. I'm giving you guys all that knowledge, and I'm saving you a bunch of time and effort and money, and giving you exactly what you guys need, because some of this stuff is not that good that's out there. So, yeah, Gadget Man. So anyway. Awesome. I could go on for a long time. Let me get one more question, one or two more questions from because we got quite a few people on here. You are the no, that's not me. Aussie Wine TV. Oh my gosh, so he's another gadget guy right there. What questions do you guys have? You're the expert in giving us what we need. Yeah, I'm doing my best.
I saw somebody ask a question about how do they come up with ideas for periscopes, to rise above the noise. What's some good stuff And I had an idea about that. Like when I first started doing this, I listed out 32 ideas for Periscopes that was within my wheelhouse, right? Like I teach about, using the top engagement strategies in digital marketing, to build an audience, and then of course how to sell and convert that audience on webinars and live stream events and automated webinars. So I built out like 32 things, right? Made a list of 32 things, and then that's essentially what I start sending out. And they can be simple questions about what your audience needs. What are the pain points of your audience? The other thing I would say is, if you've ever written a blog post, go back to your old blog posts and see the most, the ones that had the most engagement, the best comments. Those are the ones that you can take and repurpose in a Periscope. Because that's the one thing a lot of people don't do. They don't repurpose a lot of the content they create. And it's like they're just putting more work into what they're doing. And the other thing about Periscope that I'm loving is the fact that, it only lasts for 24 hours. So you're always having to kind of reintroduce yourself or retell, what your story is. And that's part of this. It's like you get really good at telling your story. So in a Periscope, you're probably going to be doing it 3 or 4 times because new people come in every so often.
Yeah.
So there's like this content that you're always doing, this structure you're always creating, but it's also you're providing nuggets along the way. And I would go to like videos you've done on YouTube, blog posts, or make a list of some of the pain points, the biggest pain points that your audience is having, and serve that information up. Who do you serve and what are their pain points?
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good information. So instead of going to school and teaching my kids just to it's get them up, you can't. I mean, be careful with that. I mean, obviously, but really good information, really great idea there, Casey. Because Casey was saying, I mean, what you're saying is basically just repurpose your blog post, repurpose your content that you created, and especially obviously the blog posts that have gotten the most traction. I mean, go to the stuff that's worked already that people are already engaged with. Go to your Google Analytics and look at what's gotten the most views, what's gotten the most hits.
And I think a lot of people, they overthink what that's going to be sometimes too. Like they really focus so much time on what am I going to do a Periscope about? What is it going to be? What is it going to be about? But it's like, once they start thinking, it could be a simple question. It could be, it could be asking a question, or that's how simple it could be. And I think the more you do it, the better you get at feeling comfortable with asking those questions and doing those Periscopes, and then it becomes easier to do them. But I definitely think that any content out there, based on what Brian was saying earlier, a content schedule is needed. I think having a content calendar, content schedule, any content you put out there, when they can rely on it, just like what Ryan does. This is why I love what Ryan does on Mondays. Monday nights, boom, he's going to be doing an interview style thing. So you're like, bam, I'm going to come on to that. It's awesome value. He's got some good guests. That's the power of it right there. And then what, of course, Brian said, doing the Canva images and then promoting it ahead of time. This is just like promoting anything, like a webinar. Periscopes can be promoted as well.
Yep. So, and by the way, if you guys want to repurpose and by the way, go to YouTube, go to Periscope Ryan. You'll see my channel. And you'll also see that I put what are called YouTube cards on there, so you can drive traffic directly from your YouTube video. From any channel, you can drive it to one actual website. You can link any channel to one website. So if you want to link, to more websites, you got to create more channels. So I just created, YouTube cards are awesome. So basically, I got a guy for $10. If anybody wants, his name's Skip. He's awesome. He's been capturing all my videos. How good are the YouTube cards? They're awesome. They're so awesome. I mean, it's finally YouTube. And by the way, I saw that Tristan was from ATW Networking was saying that now YouTube is supporting the vertical YouTube videos, which is really cool. I figured they'd have to do that because, basically YouTube is my repository for all my stuff. I mean, that's what it is. So, go to YouTube, Periscope Ryan. You'll see... and there's a really cool, you got to check it out, Casey. We got a really cool call to action. $10 a video, it's a no-brainer, seriously. You got to check it out, because if you're not, capturing that content, now I can turn those off and I can put those in a course, I mean, so that's
I'm going to go to your YouTube and check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Check it out.
I'm actually building out right now a new YouTube course, so I'm going to be looking at like folks like some examples like from you and things like that. So
yeah, you got
check it out.
You guys DM me and I'll give you Skip. I'll put you in touch with Skip. It's a no-brainer. Seriously, I mean, Catch.me is great. Don't get me wrong. I still want the native.
It's Skip Foster.
What's that? No, it's not. I don't know. I don't know his last name. I know his name's Skip. I don't know if it's always.
He reached out. Yeah.
He probably reached out
to me on Facebook as well. Yeah, he's my community. Yeah, so he takes them and he can put the skins on them and everything else. It's awesome. He does it really well.
Yeah.
I think it's Skip Foster.
Yeah. So $10 per video. DM me. I'll give you his contact information. $10 per video. You should. I mean, it's really, really cool. Yeah. So I work online course development. There's so much potential for online. Yeah. So. Exactly. So yeah, Mike feels saying is that a bad word? You guys are buddies. You and Mike are buddies. So
I know Mike. Yeah.
Of course.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
There's Skip right there. Okay, there's Skip.
I invited Mike. He comes to some of mine. Yeah, there he is, right there. Guys, follow this guy right here. He has the sunglasses. So follow that guy.
So Skip is awesome. He's the guy who he's my secret weapon. You guys aren't supposed to know. Don't tell everybody about Skip because I want to make sure that Skip is still Skip. You got to stay on my stuff. You capturing this one right now live, Skip? Come on. Because Skip, that's what's really cool is if you tell Skip ahead of time, he will actually record it. He's getting it live right now. He's just taking it right, just boom, like direct feed, baby. Yeah, is that hot or what?
Yeah, that's the way. That's all. He's doing a direct feed.
Boom.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, he sent me some of his stuff. It looks really cool. I want to start doing it.
So what's really cool is he puts a nice CTA, a nice call to action there, and don't tell. Shh. Okay, so yeah. Where is Skip based? He's a Texas man. He's American. So he's in God's country. And down there in Fort Worth, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's the God belt right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So Fort Worth.
Worth.
He's a good guy, and he's running a bit. We got to get Skip on here. Actually, Skip is a business guy himself, and he runs a business, and I want to see how Skip's going to be using this. He's using this right now to make some cash with these videos, which is really cool. So yeah. So yeah, I mean,
I like how.
Yeah.
Some people are really getting really creative with how they're using it and how they're using it to create income and revenue for themselves. I mean, what's interesting is like I'm able to talk to my community on a daily basis. Which if someone hasn't bought Easy Webinar yet, it gets them closer. Like people have actually said, I bought Easy Webinar because I watch your Periscopes, and you're providing so much value. It's like they get to know who you are. That just becomes the next level because if your product answers the need that they have and they like you, that's the end game. That's the result, So that's why I absolutely love Periscope. It's like I'm seeing people that are buying the software more because I'm doing more Periscopes and connecting and providing a ton of value, you know? So it's like you're gonna see the purchases come through is if you can get people, collect the leads, get the community into your funnel, you're gonna see that growth.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Yep. So anyway, it was awesome hanging with you guys. I gotta get to. I'm still on West Coast time, so that's the only reason why I'm able to stay up until almost 1 o'clock now. Over here on the East Coast, and Casey, it was awesome. Thank you for jumping. You're on this guy's been on the East Coast too. So anyway, really cool,
right.
Casey.
It's kind of late here, yeah.
Yeah, I know. So you're good thing you're at a Starbucks, so or at a coffee shop. So.
Stays up till midnight, baby. Yeah,
you gotta love it. So, all right. So we're gonna call me tomorrow. I'm in Florida, by the way, in South Florida. I'm actually. You can see me on the map. I'm in Jupiter, in Jupiter, Florida. Anyway, sell all this to my school district so we can teach the kiddos from home. Oh yeah, right? That'd be awesome, right? Okay, so anyway, retweet this, guys. Do me a favor, retweet this and favorite it. Get it out there. Let's get some people watching this. This is really cool. I want to get more people here, let people know about. I've got another hangout next week, every single Monday at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Pacific. Jump on this. Watch the replay. Thank you very much, Casey. Thank you for jumping on, and I'll chat at you tomorrow. All right.
Sounds good, buddy. Yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun. Let's do this again.
We will. I'm just gonna, there's an open invitation for anybody that's been on, so it's an open invite, open mic night for all the entrepreneurs that are crushing it out there like yourself.
I love it. I'll be back for sure then.
All right,
thank you
brother.
guys for listening, and yeah, we'll see you again.
All right, thank you. Okay, guys. So I know you're probably still on there. Actually, let's see. Let me. Okay. So, okay, awesome. That was really fun. That was awesome, Casey. I know you're probably still in the scope, guys. Thank you. Brilliant, guys. Keep doing the great work. Now I can actually focus on all your questions. If there's any questions that I missed that was going on in the scope, I can focus 100% on you guys. Okay, so what questions do you have that I can answer one-on-one? Let me know. What questions do you guys? Yep, still here. There's Casey. If you have any questions for Casey, YouTube Jedi, then let him know as well. Any questions? We got 52 people, and thanks everyone for your time. Yes, thank you, or else I'd be talking into my iPhone case, as Mark Shaw would say. Tell us more about YouTube. Oh my goodness. Think big, sell to big business. Yes, looking forward to chat live on Periscope. Yes, I am going to be getting interviewed by ATW Network, right there, networking, from Australia. He interviewed me on a plane the other day while I was on my smartphone over Google Hangout. How cool is that? Your special branding, oh nice, yes, on Thursday. So he's interviewing me. Yes. Question, my school district buys anything? Hey, put them in contact with me. I'd love to talk to them. What's new? That's what I do. I help businesses make more money online. YouTube and Portrait. Yeah, it's there. From what I understand, that they're yes, YouTube info. Okay, really quick. So YouTube, what I would do, and you've got a YouTube Jedi on here too, so it ain't just me. Find out what your keywords are. How is your sales channel modified since Periscope came out? My sales channels, okay, it's been modified just in the sense that my sales channel, look, I teach businesses how to leverage this technology, or just digital marketing in general. YouTube is adding vertical video, yeah. So my sales channel the only thing that I've done is I'd added a new lead magnet. So my lead magnet is Periscope Ryan, and and those are affiliate links on there. I have to disclose that. So I've got my Olo clip link in there. I've got the Rode mic link. I would recommend that you guys go and get affiliate network links because you get paid more money, just quite frankly, for recommending this stuff and finding out like I have, spending thousands of dollars. I mean, I've got a drawer full of all this stuff that I've spent money on over the past 5-10 years, and so you're just using as a new vertical, exactly. When does this YouTube change? It's right now, from what I understand. So the other thing, guys, is what I was going to say is that you want to know what your keyword is. What are your keywords? Go use the Google keyword tool. Step number 1, find out what keywords are really important to your business for YouTube. Find out what those videos are. Put that word in the title, in the tags, and in the description of that video. Geotag the video, and then what you want to do also is finally you want to broadcast that video out to all the social media sites. At the end, when it says do you want to send this to these different social media sites, send it to every one of them, every single one of them. Okay. Of tech that doesn't work, right? Exactly. And we got to talk. Aussie Wine TV. You got to Make it easy. That's another really long and short tail keywords. Find both. It'll help drive more traffic. Yes, long and short tail. Aussie Wine TV. Let me know. Calendly.com/RyanS/60 minutes. 60 MIN. We did. So, okay, yes, we did connect last night. How to record Periscope. Connect with Skip. DM me. Direct message me. I'll put you in contact. You can either use catch.me or you can actually use YouTube. You can upload your videos to YouTube. I don't do it. You can use something called Reflector for Windows. You can use QuickTime if you're on a Mac. It records exactly what's on your Periscope with the hearts, with the comments, or you can just use somebody like Skip, and Skip will do it for you for $10 a video. Okay? If you want any of this stuff that makes your, now everybody's using these mics. It's kind of funny. So everybody's using these mics. I should watch the replay, huh? So I'm not so tech savvy. Yeah. So go to Periscope Ryan, periscoperyan.com if you want any of the links for any of this stuff, for the mics, for all the gadgets. So anyway, awesome. I'm gonna jump, guys. I got to get to bed. I hope you periscoperyan.com. Thank you. Or you can text your name and email to, text your name, email, and the word Periscope to the number 58885. 58885. Okay. Yes. Use Google Keyword Tool. Put in the title, tag, and description. Geotag video. Send to all social media. Exactly. Thanks, Alex. Synthesis. Everybody. Alex is going to interview me pretty soon too. He's got my awesome funnel. Yeah, it's really cool. So take care. Thank you. Thanks, Tristan from ATW Networking. Yes, text the word Periscope to 58885. Now that's another thing I'm going to recommend to you guys. All right. See you, Casey. Just going to scope and pick up the crazy. Okay, awesome. Okay, we're going to pass the scope to Z & Co. Pass the scope to Z & Co. So Z & Co, go follow her if you want to see somebody. Peace out. And text Periscope to thanks, Colleen. That was really cool. That's how you Ryan's your Periscope, our Periscope Thursday. Yes, that's it. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you. Over there now. Awesome.